February 22nd, 2022. A couple of black iPhone cases for my iPhone 8. This one is broken, but I experimented with it because I wanted to paint it different color. The paint seemed to stick pretty well, so I'm going to paint this one. You can see I've scuffed it up pretty thoroughly, especially important to scuff up around the edges. That's where paint tends to peel. I'm also going to put this puppet on, and I've mixed up some 5-minute epoxy. I use the epoxy to fasten the base of the puppet onto the Otterbox, and then I used my tape, which I used to use for airbrush work. This tape is at least 40 years old and still has sticky. Pretty amazing. So that's the tape that I used to make the circle of the base right there. It's very flexible. Finish it off with some regular blue masking tape. And then to hold it while I'm painting it, so I can spray both sides. And this gives me a nice little handle to spray it. And then I will paint it white first because my fluorescent, as I found out when I painted the first one, doesn't cover all that well. So I'll do a base coat of white and then the fluorescent over it, and then I'll hang it in front of the heater to force drying. I've got my base white coat on. If I touch it here, I can see it's dried up enough for me to be able to go over it. I think this is going to look cool at first because it's going to be speckled. This is my fluorescent. Oh, it's not really speckled, it's just a light fluorescent. But I'm confident it will cover the white more easily than it covered just the black before. You can see how having it on this makes it just really nice to be able to paint. The key to painting, and I used to paint cars, is nice even strokes. If you can be close as possible to parallel with your surface. So you're going this way, it's going to be like this. You're going to rotate. If you've got something that's obstructing, you're going to tilt it in a little as you go by, because otherwise it's going to get shadowed by that. The fluorescent paint over the white paint, as it's drying, has developed what is known as a crazed pattern. This actually was my license plate up until, you can see, December '83. So I have crazed paint here and a crazed license plate. And this is probably because the two paints that I used were incompatible. I knew that there was a risk that there would be some kind of abnormality of the paint texture. Crazing is something that is achieved purposely, sometimes on paint, because of the pattern can be appealing. I'm not crazy about it, no pun intended, but I think I could live with it, and I'm going to put another coat of paint on and see how crazy it gets. Here's the completed cover with the puppet epoxied on it. I did not plan on having that crazed pattern. It's okay. I'll leave it for now, and you know what? If I don't like it, I can always paint it over again. Over and out.